If you follow esports, you've probably noticed a lot of new teams popping up with ties to flashy names like Shaq, Magic Johnson, Steve Aoki, the 76ers, and of course, the nebulous but omnipresent consortium of investors. Outsider investment in esports has been commonplace in other regions for years. Samsung, LGD, and Korean Telecom, to name a few, but in North America and Europe, esports were always viewed as being extremely niche by anyone who wasn't already a gamer. Until recently. In the past year and a half, we've seen an explosion of money streaming into esports from mainstream pockets in the West. But why? The answer, of course, sits at the top of a mountain of cash. There's big money to be made in esports. According to SuperData Research, the global esports market is expected to grow to $1.2 billion by 2019. That's because over 200 million viewers around the world tune into esports events every year, and most of them are 18 to 35-year-old so-called millennials. Advertisers really want to reach millennials because they're just starting to earn money and make their own purchasing decisions. In the US alone, millennials spent over $200 billion in 2016. Their purchasing habits aren't set yet, so brands want to get their attention early and secure loyal customers for years to come. As they get older and make more money, brands hope that they'll return and make bigger purchases. The big challenge for brands is that this age group is especially hard to reach through traditional advertising channels like TV and print. Many of them have cut the cord and abandoned cable, choosing instead to go online. This has forced advertisers to look for alternate channels to reach them, and esports is a promising option. The outside investors buying up esports teams are hoping to get a piece of the pie that brands will eventually come to pay. How much could that potentially be if esports blows up? Well, taking a long view of things, the Los Angeles Lakers made over $300 million in revenue last year, a huge chunk of which came from sponsorship and advertising deals. So there's plenty of money to be made, but for bright-eyed new investors, striking gold in professional gaming is no easy task. Without knowing much about the games, most of these new owners rely heavily on esports experts to run the show for them. Immortals is run by a 22-year-old gamer, Noah Winston. PSG Esports is led by ex-pro Bora Yellowstar Kim. And Team Liquid, which sold the majority of its shares last year to an investment group, is still managed by longtime CEO Steve Liquid 112 Aronset. But this doesn't always work out for them. NRG Esports, notably backed by Shaq, A-Rod, and the co-owners of the Sacramento Kings, saw their League of Legends team fail to re-qualify for the LCS in their second split after going through 2 general managers and multiple coaching staff. They have since disbanded their league team. Despite their inexperience in individual team management, these new owners do have an edge when it comes to running their organizations as businesses. Usually, they come in with much more corporate experience than the average pro player turned team owner. They know how to build their organization's brand and sell sponsorships, merchandise, and media rights, and they already have the connections in place to make it happen. These newcomers' biggest advantage of all, though, is the sheer depth of their wallets. In an interview with L'Equipe, Unicorns of Love manager Kagner said, quote, "There is a big problem right now. Player salaries are skyrocketing. Other teams offer double what we pay our players, who are already earning reasonable salaries. Our budget is balanced, while our players are paid well. So any team that comes and proposes double must be losing money." End quote. While most player-turned-owner teams have to budget their month-to-month spending based on fickle sponsorship deals, many investor-backed teams have access to additional capital to supplement sponsorship income. They can afford to lose money in the short term if it means recruiting the best players and performing at the top. While some argue that this influx of new money is good for players' careers and growth of esports in general, others contend that money shouldn't win championships and that it's not fair for OG owners to be squeezed out for lack of cash. For better or for worse, outsider investment in esports teams is making headlines and pushing professional gaming into the mainstream. It's hard for NBA fans to turn their noses up at esports when their idols have such strong expectations for the industry. And when they do look, it's impossible to acknowledge the multi-million-dollar prize pools and venue-packing crowds and still refuse to believe that esports is a movement. For now, the future of new money in esports is still uncertain. If the returns are good for investors and their sponsors, they will invest more into their teams and the scene, setting new standards for player support and propelling esports far more quickly into the limelight. If, however, they decide that gaming isn't worth their time and back out, the industry will continue in the way it always has, driven forward slowly but surely by the people who are most passionate about it. Time will tell what happens. In the meantime, tell your dad that A-Rod put money in a CSGO team.